Hi guys. Oh, dogs. Right, quick one, really. I've been very busy with work and family. The days are getting longer and nicer, so there's more things for me to do, but I've still not given up on this sodding chassis. I'm going to turn the camera around, been having a closer look at things. It looks to me like some of the bolts that were on there previously have been welded. I'll show you what I mean, which kind of changes what I need to do for this chassis. If you look closely, I think you can see, I mean, it still needs some more cleaning up, but there's some spot welds just on top of the nuts, both that one and that one. So I'm going to really struggle to get this out. Now I do believe this was just a bolt-on part to hold the cross frame, and whoever it was doing it before decided that it's going to weld it all up, which I don't suppose is really a big problem. But what it does mean that I'm going to have to, I mean, it's kind of good, kind of bad. So this plate here, that's what I'm going to have to cut into. I can't get behind it, but I can certainly weld onto it here. So I think I'm going to cut that kind of size out here and start on this edge, because I can then get in there, have a proper look around, see the condition of the metal. I can then do a seam weld here and then bring it into the bottom here. I think that's my best approach, and then have a proper assessment of things, see what we're actually dealing with, check out the metal in there, and then take it piece by piece. So I think today's plan will be to cut out this section and have a closer look. I mean, if it's really bad, not that I'm hoping it is, but it could be, it may be that I take the top off and fabricate a new part onto the top of the chassis here. So you can see it's just plug welded here. I don't really want to do that, but if I have to, I have to. So I think I'm going to get the angle grinder out now and have a closer look in there. It's my next best step, isn't it? Okay, so quite a nice neat cut through there. Got a little bit of graze up here, not too bad. I can't get the angle grinder into here. I was wondering if I could just, if it was that bad I could rust, but when I was angle grinding up here, you could certainly tell, and you can see actually there's some good meat left on this chassis. Down here it was like cutting through paper. So I'm going to have to carefully take this part out here, I think, with a hacksaw blade and get it as neat as possible. And then a bit of sanding, and then we'll have a little closer look in there, see what we're dealing with. That will help us make some decisions on what to do going forward, so with regards to repairs or chassis or anything like that. I'm quite hopeful, but we shall see. Right, this is going to be a first look together, really. I managed to get the angle grinder into here in the end. I just used a worn blade, which gave me a little bit more room. I tried using the hacksaw. I mean, it was a... Oh, that's good, isn't it? There you go. Oh, wow. Look at that. See everything now. Oh, my goodness. Right. So, rust. We knew that. But what I am seeing, I don't know if you're seeing the same, is a little bit of old protection in there. Oh, I tell you what, look. I can see what we're looking at. We're looking at... If you can remember on the older videos, they cut out the bottom of the chassis leg. They've welded it on this side, and on the other side, I don't know if you can remember, it was bent up, and it sort of came about, I don't know, halfway up the other side. Now, whilst they were doing that, it appears to me that they put a bit of primer in there, which you can see quite well now, which is good. It does mean that you can see the old chassis leg here, or the bottom of the old side of the leg. It's not even a chassis leg. The side of the chassis box section was totally gone. And I sort of patched up the side. Now, obviously I can't really cut any more of this out, otherwise this thing's going to collapse in the middle. But the good news is, I mean, this is certainly not engineering 101, but there's no flex in the chassis from me putting some weight on it. Not that I'm going to test it to destruction. So it does mean, I think, using the other side as a benchmark as to what's the chassis is like, and actually feeling in there, I can't really feel any rust per se. I can patch this up and I can put a plate in. I can weld into this point here. This sort of cross member looks nice and intact still, which is great. And I can strengthen up this side, and then I'll strengthen up the bottom, then I'll strengthen up the other side. I'll basically cut out the old weld. I am curious to see what it's like down here. Now right there I can feel some kind of flappy platey thing. Got quite a lot of rust coming out of there. I'm going to have a closer look. Maybe what I'll do is take a photo down there and then we can have a closer look. So hopefully, if I've edited this right, I've taken a photo down there and it's not too disgraceful, I don't think. There is a funny piece of metal there. I think that's the end of the piece of metal. Listen to me. Yes, so that had been the location, I think, of, because there's a weld where my finger is, there's another weld going across. So that piece of flappy metal would have been the location where the chassis leg, ow, just cut myself, well done, the old chassis leg would have been. Now, I think we're in a fairly okay position here, really. I'm going to locally take out the rust. I don't think I need to take out all of the chassis and do things. From what I can see in there, apart from the bits and pieces which I need to clean up, I think this is fixable and not particularly beyond me. I will be cutting this bead out when I come to do the welding, and I'll weld the plate on and I'll come down. Well, maybe I'll just grind it back actually, and then I will come down the front here and drop past it. So when I cut out the bottom and the other side, it should be easy to get to and very doable. I have to weld this side in first, otherwise I've taken all the structure out of this chassis and it will just collapse in the middle. Once I've done this side, I'll then have to move over onto this side and do a similar thing. Well, it's been welded up differently. And then I'll have somebody come over and check it all, and if they're happy with it, then I'm happy with it, and we can start thinking about putting the floor back in and putting some rust proofing down there. So I'm not going to really do any of that now. Maybe during the week I'm going to have some time, make up a plate and at least pop. I'd have to weld up this side across the top down there properly. I'll have to do that. Leave the rest of it, and I could weld into here, into the plate here, I guess, but the rest I'll leave long and sort out once it's in place. That's for another video. So still chipping away. It's not quite as frequent as it was a few weeks ago, but like I say, life's getting in the way. I hurt my back the other week, which was not good, and work is busy, and that's good, but just means that maybe at a slightly slower pace. But I really appreciate all the support and comments I've been getting, and I'd hope to get something out later this week. So thanks again.